awesome new features of patch 2.11 for Cyberpunk 2077 was Crystal Coat. This giving you the ability to change the color of the two ray-field vehicles in-game. You can assign both a primary and secondary color, but unfortunately with the release of patch 2.12, this was broken. So now instead of fully changing your car's color, it'll only partially apply, giving you this odd mashup of several colors at once. Although this also got several new features with patch 2.12. There's now a dedicated headlights color wheel, so you can edit that independent of the primary and secondary colors if you want to. Previously, headlight colors were just tied to the secondary color you selected, but even cooler, they properly added in the functionality for non-ray-filled vehicles as well. Shortly after Crystal Coat was added, many fans discovered that simply holding down the color customization key while in any car in the game would open up this same menu. And while you could only change the colors of those two ray-filled cars, you could change the color of the headlights on any car in the game. It seems like CDPR noticed this, and with patch 2.12, now this menu got a new look. It'll get an override titled Cosmetic Troll, showing you just the headlights as an edit option on any of the vehicles in the game, so kind of a mixed bag with this update. The actual feature was largely broken, but the workaround that was working on other vehicles is now more of a proper feature. But did you know that with patch 2.12, CDPR also added in a brand new mystery to be solved in Cyberpunk? This one has controversy, curiosity, and even some official CDPR responses. But first, we have to talk about today's video sponsor, Luck Catchers 2. At Luck Catchers 2, you'll be thrust into an epic 1 million square kilometer open world. There'll be tons of unique territories for you to explore freely, and it'll be backed by all of your favorite MMORPG mechanics to really define your character. But Luck Catchers 2, you'll need to pick a side. Your character's background will determine your starting city, but from there, you'll have tons of immersive decisions to make things your own, so you'll need to do things like allocate your resources wisely, engage in trade, which can definitely end up bloody, and even grow your own character with new skills and opportunities. But the real fight is in the skies. In Luck Catchers 2, you're going to command a vast array of ships, and you'll come up against things like fire-breathing dragons or even just the enemy armada. But of course, you don't need to go into this alone. You can play Luck Catchers 2 solo or with friends, and there are constantly new events that can determine the state of the world or even just the opportunity to best that rival guild. Luck Catchers 2 is available right now on PC and designed specifically for those 16 and older, aka you guys. So don't wait, use my link to play Luck Catchers 2 on Steam right now and venture into the world at the edge of the Inside Out. And make sure to use code JUICE for some free in-game items. Looking back at Cyberpunk 2077, a few days after the release of patch 2.11, users noticed a completely new phone that was added into the game. And you can find this one for yourself. Simply go to the oil fields fast travel point way out on the north side of the map. Run down the road to the first smaller shack building, and within you'll find the phone on the wall. The most notable detail about this one is it's near identical to the phone found in Dogtown. None of the numbers that trigger the Dogtown phone seem to work on this one though. That Dogtown phone was of course added with Phantom Liberty. It's a part of one of the major quests, but it also has its own variety of secrets and Easter eggs with which numbers you can call from the phone. Several of these will just get a rise out of Johnny, but a few will play unique pieces of music from other CDPR franchises.
Whoa.
And putting in Cyberpunk 2077's release date will sign you up for Pixel Fortress reviews, so you get text messages of reviews of the various in-world arcade games. But none of those numbers worked on this new phone, and users were able to confirm this is in fact new. If you go to the same location on patch 2.1, the phone isn't there. It was added with patch 2.11. Until one user made a major new discovery. If you type in a certain number into this phone, you do get a response, and a pretty unique one at that. A full-on system reboot scene will appear, taking over your HUD, and you basically get to watch as the major systems of what appears to be your character restart, until eventually your system will finish rebooting. And while this is all going on, it even looks like there's a cat on the floor with some glowing eyes. So what on earth was all of this? Immediately, the FF06B5 community started digging, that being the other major mystery in Cyberpunk 2077, but pretty quickly thereafter, controversy hit. Some of the posts covering this new mystery were removed by the moderators of the subreddit, and the crux of this new issue is this phone number that I used to actually trigger this entire on-screen effect, my HUD rebooting, was found using data mining, accessing the files of the game to solve the mystery rather than searching normally and in the way CDPR intended. Except, funny enough, this actually wasn't a mystery at all, and CDPR eventually did clarify what on earth is going on here. Let me start by debunking the theories regarding the phone and the number. The truth is that they are not related to any puzzle, neither to FF06B5 nor the ARG. It is also not a new puzzle on its own. You have found a tool designed for hollow call resetting whenever needed. Other than that, it doesn't do anything, honest. So basically, this is a tool used by CDPR support to resolve some of the issues users have been encountering around holocalls. And seemingly, that system reset visual is just a nice little thing they added to work around with the issue. And in this response, CDPR further clarifies that they don't endorse data mining, and in fact, it is not permitted based on the game's EULA. Sometimes it incorrectly finds tools like this one, but also when it does come to the genuine ARGs CDPR are working on, they don't intend for them to be solved via data mining, so it's basically just cheating in the game. And as such, the various FF06B5 communities have since banned data mine clues from discussion. So all in all, not an actual mystery with this phone, but I didn't lie to you. As in the very next update, patch 2.12, a new mystery was in fact added into the game. If you head over to the prime FF06B5 location, aka the largest one right in the center of Night City, walk up to this display and simply stand here for around 1 hour in-game time. It seems like it doesn't really matter when you start standing here, you just have to wait here for about 1 hour. And then something happens. The display changes, now showing a 6-fingered and seemingly mirrored hand that appears to be reaching for the cube. This cube will rotate several times and it looks like it's radiating this yellowish light you could see. Eventually, the hand will begin to glow pink. It looks like this is shocking pink, which is FF06B5 as a color code. This scene will last for a decent amount of time. The cube will occasionally glitch out, but it seems like this cube is constantly moving over the entire course, and after around 1 minute, the screen will fade back to its original setting. So the immediate connection that can be drawn is to the actual end of the FF06B5 mystery, or what was thought to be the end, because of course this changes things. I made a full video explaining everything around FF06B5 and even the ARG, but basically after going through all of the steps with that mystery, you'll trigger this vision at the end with a cube floating in the air. This other cube is constantly spinning and it glows in a very similar color to the cube we have on screen here. But beyond the obvious visual similarities, it's not really clear if there's any deeper or further connection between this scene and the new mystery added in with this cube visual. And in general, it seems like this is a very deliberate and noteworthy addition by CDPR. They just added this with patch 2.12. This is at a point where many thought both the ARG and the FF06B5 mystery were totally finished. Most of the work on both of those mysteries were complete. So it feels like this is either them saying, oh no, there is still something out there to find, or maybe it's starting something anew. At the end of the original ARG, they mentioned having one final piece of the mystery. Many assumed this would be the addition of a laptop that featured all of the winners' names, as well as a surrounding scene for that laptop. That's kind of a nice cherry on top, an in-game recognition of those who participated, but perhaps that one final piece is actually connected here. I mean, at the end of the day, even with the FF06B5 solution, we don't actually know what FF06B5 means, or even what these statues are. Even though it seemed like the mystery was over, we never really had answers to a lot of questions. Perhaps that's what we're embarking on here. But there may be another clue as to where this all leads. Right as I was wrapping up this video, Sam Bram uploaded a video about some Dogtown mysteries. And one of the ones highlighted in that may very well connect here and even connect to the Cyberpunk sequel codenamed Orion. So for those of you unaware, Cyberpunk 2077 does have an upcoming sequel. It's codenamed Orion, and it's ramping up development right now with a new Boston studio as a part of CDPR NA. It's out on the edge of the city, and you can most easily find this by going to the Crest Street fast travel point. After landing here, simply run up this very large crane/excavator and use it to get onto the second level of this building. Work your way through. Depending on what time of day it is, it'll likely be very dark, but eventually you'll see some lights in an opening with this "Where's Johnny" graffiti. If you go here during the day, the door will be locked, but if you do come after 1 a.m., the door will be open with a party raging on within. Lots of you may have already been to this location, as it is the location of one of the iconic shotguns from Phantom Liberty, and arguably the best shotgun in the game right now. But in this room, as you walk in, you could also see a giant O leaning against the wall. Some of the messages you could find on the laptop reveal that this O was stolen from a nearby bar guest building, and in the attached photo, you could see that this O was a part of the original Orion sign, obviously drawing an immediate connection to the Cyberpunk sequel. This is a real spot in game. You could run over and see the missing O for yourself, but this party has a few other interesting clues. There are several FF06B5 related hints in this room. There's an Arasaka 3D game case on the table. If you followed the FF06B5 mystery, this was an arcade game in the secret server room that led to the solving of the mystery overall. You basically had to go through various steps in this arcade game to actually get these servers to trigger and then put in final codes to end the mystery. Scribbled on a box in the corner of the party room, you could find the steps to unlock one of the secret puzzles in the Arasaka 3D game. You have to wait at level 0 for around 283 seconds to unlock a secret maze. And while these clues are here, that stage of the FF06B5 mystery has already been solved, and seemingly it was solved without even discovering these clues, just via trial and error and really just a lot of effort by the community. But in this room, you could find shards detailing this roaming party. This group has been partying all over Dogtown and mentions several other locations that they've stopped at, and you could go and find the remnants of their past parties around Dogtown. Therefore, these locations in total, you'll be able to find some of the remnants of the party, like some drinking ware, even the same shard in some of those locations. But at two of the places, you'll find something interesting. You're going to find a cyber psycho-esque enemy that's kind of hopped up and immediately starts attacking you as you approach, also with several bodies from their previous victims scattered around. Seems like these people may have partied a little bit too hard and then taken out some of the party goers. After taking down these enemies, you'll discover that they were being introduced to a new chem in Dogtown known as Phant, detailing their first time using the chem, but then you'll also experience the aftermath as they're taking out their rage on those around them. Phant is one of the new chems added with Phantom Liberty. It's really more of a lore thing. I haven't found an instance where you could use it yourself, and you'll find many NPCs around Dogtown using this. It's that blue smoke inhaler, you could see them puffing, and you'll be able to find several other NPCs that seem to be suffering from the side effects or withdrawal effects of Phant. And it is described how Phant is a hallucinogenic that will permanently change your brain chemistry. And while the three main party spots are incredibly easy to find, the fourth one's a bit more of a mystery. There's this one in a shipping container that almost matches the description but seems kind of small. And then of course the actual party scene that we could find active, and this may be it, but the final party's described as being in a shipping container, and this doesn't really seem like it's in a shipping container, just near shipping containers. But where this all becomes a bit more interesting is as you walk outside this party location, you could find a woman smoking something and exhaling pink smoke. Pink smoke that very closely resembles shocking pink. And while I have seen many other NPCs exhaling that blue Phant smoke, I haven't seen anyone else exhaling pink smoke, and this does feel notable. So of course the big question is whether or not this is even relevant. This party room may have just been a clue for the past and already solved puzzle around the Arasaka 3D game. But at the same time, the mentions of Orion feel very in your face and like there's something there. Perhaps this latest clue around FF06B5 is leading into a larger mystery that will end up teasing something about the Cyberpunk sequel, or maybe I'm just reading way too deeply into this, but either way, there's a cool secret party in Dogtown, you get a cool weapon there, and there's definitely a bit more going on with this Phant stuff. But one of the other major new discoveries in Cyberpunk 2077 are the Tom's Diner binoculars. These were seemingly added with a recent update, but only just discovered. Simply head over to Tom's Diner, located here in Night City, and then climb up onto the roof. There you'll find some viewing binoculars, and if you focus on this red cardinal off to the left side of your screen, it will eventually fill with glitches until a photo of CDPR will overlay on your screen. This is seemingly a photo of the dev team. You can continue to look around and move around with the overlaid photo, and it really is just a nice little Easter egg towards CDPR celebrating the people that worked on this game and the expansion. The red cardinal is of course a part of the CDPR official logo. A new weapon was just added into Cyberpunk 2077 with the Foxhound. It's an iconic smart sniper, most notably sporting a new skin, but also with a massive headshot damage bonus as well as some armor penetration. The main way to get this one is to have Amazon Prime, go on to the Prime Gaming website to get your code, then redeem it on the official Cyberpunk 2077 website, and then this new weapon should appear in your stash. Unfortunately, many users are reporting that no, it's not actually showing up in their stash. So alternatively, if you are on PC, you can just use this code. I'll have it posted in the description so you can easily copy it and paste it in console. You of course will need CyberEngine tweaks to get the console to pop up though. Or you can get nearly all of these Prime and GOG weapons from airdrops, at least as of patch 2.1. But this was added in a pretty interesting way that I think a lot of people don't realize. Your odds of getting one of these new weapons from a Dogtown airdrop is significantly higher the earlier into Phantom Liberty you are. And by the end of Phantom Liberty, you'll have a less than 1% chance of finding these weapons. Sadly, it seems like you still do need Amazon Prime as well as Phantom Liberty to get the new Foxhound weapon. This one won't just show up in an airdrop. But if you couldn't get that to spawn, or if you're just looking for some of the other Prime iconics, start hunting down airdrops, and preferably hunting them down earlier into the game. But there's actually more than one secret party in Night City. There's also a secret Mox and Growl FM party in Pacifica. Growl FM was one of the new 2.0 radio stations, and to go along with that, a special party was added into the game. You had to come here at nighttime. I went after 1 a.m. and it worked. And you'll find a bunch of Mox members rocking out to Growl FM songs, and some notable names are in attendance here, like Rita Wheeler, that being the door guard at Lizzie's bar. But there are also a ton of cool and unique interactions here as well. You can sit next to Rita and listen to any of the Growl FM songs, and as you play one, you'll see its album cover populate the song list. Johnny will even listen with you. You can find a bunch of shards that will give the in-universe lore for the various bands that created the Growl FM songs, which is honestly a really cool addition. All of the songs for Growl FM were chosen via contest. Real-life artists submitted their own songs, and these were the ones that were selected. So what you're seeing here is basically a combination of that real-life band's lore meshed into Night City to make it make sense. And you can even vote on your favorite song and see the current month's top charts. Did you know that Songbird has some secret dialogue if you complete the Cold Mirage gig before you meet her? During Cold Mirage, you'll find the legendary netrunner known as Rach Bartmos in a fridge out in the Badlands. Bartmos is notorious for killing the original Net, and you could bring him up to Songbird as you're breaking into Dogtown.
Anything I'd find on BBS gossip feeds?
Biotechnica in 63 or 4. Fermentation facility in Oregon. Off the grid hack. Sound familiar?
No shit, Biotechnica. Enough to make even Bartmoss blush.
That paranoid clown? Please. Sure hope I don't wind up packed in a fridge standing... who knows where.
I happen to know where. Garbage dump in the Badlands.
Typically, you'll just have these two unrelated choices, but this is a nice little wink at Songbird and you both knowing about the lore of what really happened to the Net. After the 2.0 update, the Columbarium on the edge of Night City got a new addition. This person, whose name I'm not going to do a disservice to by butchering, was added with a nice microphone symbol. For those unaware, this is the voice actor behind Victor Vector in the English version of Cyberpunk 2077, who passed away in real life in 2021. And what you may have not realized is, in Cyberpunk 2077, they're actually using voice AI for this character for their Phantom Liberty content. Can you tell the difference between the two?
Can't complain. Corporals learn to keep their distance, and Sokka's back hiring lone mercs. They all gotta have the newest, shiniest implants. They have this rule, no drinking anywhere in the clinic. I could get reprimanded. Ooh. Well, hang on a minute. Oh, same one Jack and I knocked back. Championship bout for the middleweight title. Malone vs. Kano. Remember it as if it was yesterday.
As controversial as voice AI is as of late, this is perhaps the single best example of it being used. Not only did the voice actor's family consent to his voice being cloned, but another voice actor was hired to voice all of the new lines, and then the work was adapted to sound like Victor here. So it's not like any jobs were stolen, a voice actor was still hired, and even further, the original family consented to the voice AI being synthesized. And what may end up being one of the longest standing undiscovered Easter eggs, at least until this week, if you have your cursor over the Cyberpunk 2077 version number in the top right on the main menu, after a couple of seconds, it'll switch to being 2077. This was just found, and even some CDPR employees commented on how it took the community quite a while to find this one on Twitter. With that said though, those are 10 secret features that you may have not known about in Cyberpunk 2077, and it does seem like we have another major mystery to be uncovered. So if you want to get up to date on where things stand on that mystery, check out this video where I go over everything that's been found thus far.